Hello friends, it's Shelly. I'm so glad you're joining me. In this tutorial, we are going to make this adorable miniature snowman. We are going to use our 22 needle machines. I'm using my Addi, and the white is Bernat Premium, the green and the red are Loops and Threads Soft and Shiny, and I'll have all the yarn particulars down in the description box below for you there, so please have a look. And I'm asking that you would please also listen to the message that I have for you at the end of this video. I have a very important request that I have that I want to share with you and ask of you. And so if you would make sure that you don't skip over that and that you listen to the very end of the video, I would appreciate that so very much. All right, so if you are not a part of my channel community already, please be sure and subscribe to my channel by hitting that subscribe button and hit the thumbs up and give it a like if you enjoy this tutorial. I would appreciate that so very much. All right, friends, once you have your supplies and your machine set up, we're going to get right into it. What we're going to do is we're going to set up our 22 needle machine, and we're going to take some white yarn for our snowman. Okay, we're going to bring our last white and our first black needle in line with our yarn feeder, and we're going to cast on with a drawstring cast on, going in front of that first black, behind, in front, behind and in front, all the way around. Before we get to the end, we are going to set our row counter to 0. It should be behind that last white, and into the yarn feeder it goes. You're going to want to go slow on this first round, making sure that those loops go down over the red teeth. And sometimes a 22 needle machine will give us a little bit of struggle, but this is row 1. That first cast on row does not count. This counts as row 1. See, this one split. That yarn went halfway in, like it went in between the two little red teeth. I'm going to just show you how I fix that. I'm going to grab my loom pick. I'm going to go from behind here. I'm going to pick it up and pop that over so that my yarn is now over both red teeth and it's not split. This one too. I don't know why the 22 needle machine does that. It just does. But you just have to go with it and fix it. It's not hard to fix. Be careful when you pull up, you don't break one of those red teeth, though. That would be very hard to do. Be very hard to break it. But now that we've got that done, we can get going. This is Bernat Premium yarn in the color white, and I'm going to knit 30 rows. Once I have my 30 rows, I'm going to cut off a tail that's long enough to go around my barrel 1.5 to 2 times. I'm going to open my latch, pop this between the last white and the first black, remembering we still have to knit these two, and we're going to do the drawstring cast off. Same way we took off our waste yarn on the last piece, but this time I'm going to show you a different way. Before we took our stitches off from this side, and we're going to take them off from the other side. So I'm going to hold this tight so that those two, or with some tension so those two can knit. Then I'm going to let it go. I'm going to bring this around so that this divider here that's between my last white and my first black is lined up with my screw there. If I go any farther, these needles will, once they start popping up, they'll pop these loops off your little red teeth. So you don't go any farther than that, and then you can take off that first loop, go a little bit farther, take off the next. All these loops are ready to come off, and the next and the next. And of course, you're going to get a snag, because why wouldn't you? Let me bring this a little closer, because there's a knot. There we go. We just got to have patience, win the wars that come at us. And we're going to take off every stitch, just like so. Once your black needles get past your row counter, you can just take your finger and move it like this, and it'll move easily for you. And continue on. There we go. Have all 22 stitches off the machine. Stretch it out widthwise and lengthwise. We're going to pull on that one end, smoothing out the top as we do so. Get that nice and tight. Then you're going to pop this onto your needle We're going to go around that very top edge of stitches to reinforce it. So pick up that first row of stitches and pull. Smooth that out. Pick up a few more and pull. Smooth it out. And there we go. Once you have that done, you're going to just pick up a couple strands here. Tie a knot. Pull that knot down with your thumb nail, and then you're going to stick your hand in there the best you can. You're going to pop your needle in through the center. Grab that needle and pinch the top and bring it through so that you put your piece in half. Pulling that through. Here's my end. I'm going to take this other side and I'm going to pull that to close. I'm going to straighten that out. Pull that nice and tight. This one can be cut off a little bit shorter. We don't need to fight with that. We're going to then reinforce. This one can be too. Actually, I'm not going to cut this one off yet because I'm going to cut it off as long as I can, and then I'll use this for the next part. So I'm going to put that on my needle. We're going to go around. Oh, that was the inside one. I cut off the wrong one. Dang it. Oh well, that's okay. Make sure you're cutting off the right one. This will still work because it's long enough. We're going to go around and we're going to reinforce this top edge now. Just by going around that first row of stitches. Get that out of the way. Smooth that out. Go under that top row. Pull it through. A little bit more here. And there we have it. Now I'm going to pull up on this inside one. Get it right up nice and snug. Then I'm going to take this other one. And we're going to tie them firmly in a knot. 1 and 2 and 3. You can go ahead, cut that one off short, cut this one off short. Then you're going to turn it the other way. Those tails are hidden. Give this a little bit of a stretch down the side here lengthwise. Just like that. Now this one that we cut off, if it's long enough, if it's not, you can just simply grab another one from your yarn ball. We're going to pop that onto our needle. Now that we've got the piece smoothed out, we're going to go to the bottom edge. We're going to pick up 2 bars, go over 2 bars, pick up 2 bars, pull through, leaving a tail, of course. Then we're going to continue around, go over 2, under 2, over 2, under 2. And we're going to do this all the way around this little snowman's body. Okay. Pick up 2, over 2, pick up 2, over 2, pick up 2. There we go. Pull that through. And there we go. We have a cinch guide there, cinch yarn there. Now we're going to grab some fiber fill. Taking some of that fiber fill, we're going to pop it into our piece. Just like that. Get it in there snug, and when it starts to come out the bottom, you know you've got enough. Then you're going to pull these 2 and then assess the situation. I think I'm going to put just a smidgen more, not a lot, just a tiny wee bit more. Just like that. Then I'm going to pull on these 2 and tie them. Okay, so we have that there. We're going to tie 1 more knot. We're going to pop these onto our needle. Through the center, under the stuffing, out the side. Pull up, cut off, and we have a cute little piece that's ready to be shaped into a snowman. Now take note, I didn't stuff it so full that my rows are splitting like that. If you did, and you've already tied the end, stick a crochet hook in there and pull some stuffing out. You do not want your rows to pull apart, okay? Now I'm going to grab another piece of yarn. and my needle, one that goes around my piece a couple of times, 1.5 for sure. And we're going to separate the body from the head. I'm just going to determine where I think the middle is, and I think it's about there. So I'm going to pick up one stitch, I'm going to go over a row, pick up a row, go over a row, and we're going to do this all the way around, trying to stay on the same row. That one looks like it might have gone down, but that looks too high, so I'm going to stay in here, pull it through, leaving a tail. We're going to continue that all the way around. And pull. I feel like I might be going down a little bit. I'm going to go up to there. You can always adjust it once you get to the end here. Yeah, you see how I went up there? So easy to do. I'm going to pull this out because I wasn't paying attention. Generally, well, I mean, I was paying attention, but generally I'll do a few stitches, and then I'll kind of turn it to see if I'm lining it up, if it looks like it's lining it up, and then I'll go from there. Now let's try this again. Yeah, I think I'm staying more on track there. And there we go. I'm going to just give this a little pull just to see if I like how it's going to look. And I do. And when it's where you want it to be, you're going to pull through, making sure you have one tail that's long enough, because I always go around twice, and I'll show you why in a second. And friends, somebody under one of my videos commented and told me how I can tie. I didn't do it on the top parts here because I actually forgot about it, but now I'm remembering. She told me how you can tie so that it does not loosen once you go to the second tie. Like, you know how you tie it once and then by the time you get to the other one, it's starting to loosen. You're going to wrap it around once and then twice. And there's a name for this knot. I can't remember what it is. See how it's twice? You can put it in the comments because I read that a while ago. And then when you pull on it, it's got a little more, I mean, it's going to loosen still a little bit, but it's got a little more strength to stay where you want it. All you got to do is put your thumb on there, because you know if you follow my videos, I always struggle with that. And there we go. But you see how we have, I call these hills and these valleys, okay? I don't like how that looks on a neck. So what I'm going to do, and I do this on all of my animals that I do, or anything that I do that has to separate a body from the head. I'm going to go over top of these hills that I call them. This is where we went under. I'm going to go over top of that, underneath the one that's a valley that's way down there. You're going to get under there the best that you can. Here's the next one. I'm going to go over top of it and go under that next one. I'm going to do that all the way around, and you're going to see the difference that it makes. So underneath where the valleys are, I call them valleys. And then it automatically goes over top of the hills. These ones here I call hills. Hills and valleys, hills and valleys. I'm going under the valley. All the way around. These little guys are so adorable. I'm making them, as you know, for little pom pal kind of things for children. But you can put a keychain on the top, make it a keychain. You can hang it on your tree as a Christmas ornament. Whatever, there's so many things that you can do with these little guys. Let your imagination go wild. Make a nice Christmas wreath and put these on your wreath and have lights all around them. That would be gorgeous. Now that I've gone around, I'm going to take these two again. And I'm going to wrap once, wrap twice, and pull. See, that one's not budging. And then I'm going to pull again, or tie again. Look what that did to the neck. You don't see any hills and valleys. This is attention to detail that I think is very important on our work. You can choose not to do it, and you know, your little guy's going to be cute, but it's going to be that extra level more professional if you choose to do it. Even if you put a scarf on, because let's face it, a kid might take the scarf off. And you just, you just know that you're doing it the best that you can. And that is what's important. I'm going to cut these off. We're going to hide our ends. Oh, I think these things are just so absolutely adorable. Hide our ends. Cut them off. Now I want you to grab some black yarn and some orange yarn. Orange for the nose, of course. Taking that black yarn, we're going to come up the side of the head and we're going to go right into where we think the first eye should be. I'm going to determine it to be about there. Pull through, leaving enough so that you can tie off and hide later. All I'm going to do is that here's the stitch. I'm going to just go under the stitch and come back out where this one's coming out. Right across. 1. And don't pull so tight that you know, you squish your stitches in your row. But then I'm going to go back down, and that will be the second pass over. Pass over this. Okay, so we have 2 rows, and I'll come across. There we got one eye. I'm going to do the same here. From here, we're going to go down to the mouth. So that's 1, and the next time I go into this corner, that will be 2. So I'm going to take it down. Here is about where I want the mouth to be. Oops. So it's centered in between the 2 eyes as best as I can. Maybe I need to go here. Let me just hold it in front of me here. About there. I'm going to pull this one through. From here, I'm going to just go over a tiny wee bit and then come straight across. So I'll show you, that's how I'm doing it, see? So here's where I came out. I'm going straight across and pulling. That's half my mouth. Now I'm going to go back into the point here. And then, but you know what, go a little bit over you go into that same point, but go to the other side of the stitch. So instead of going right here, go underneath it into the other side of that stitch. Then come out where you went in. And let's pull that through. Be very gentle. There we go. And that's all we need to do. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut these off. Tie a knot. Don't tighten this one really tight because you'll pull on your mouth. You tighten this one. Put this back on your needle. Into that same stitch, under the stuffing and out the back of the head. Pull through, then you're going to lift up on here. You can't even see that that's where you were in. Cut this off. Lift up in here. There we go. Let's grab our orange yarn. Taking that orange yarn, we're going to come up from the side of the head again. We're going to go, instead of going into the middle here, we're going to go off to the left a little bit, just a little bit, just like that. Pull through. Then you're going to come down at an angle. I'm going over 1.5 stitches, just coming down at an angle. I'm going back up into that same place, pulling through, coming back down, back into that same place, that same point, back up. So that's 2 strands, just like that. Then I'm going to come down and I'm going to go just a little bit further. So I'm going to have 1 strand in between. I'm going to make a new point, and from there, I'm going to go under the stuffing and out where I went in. See how that makes a beautiful, beautiful little nose? I'm going to cut off my strands, tie my knot, hide my end. All right, so for our scarf, we're going to use our machine in flat panel. Doesn't matter if you use your small machine or your bigger machine, because we're only going over 5 needles, but I always keep it in circular mode. I'm going to have this these 3 black needles in front, but the middle one of the 3 is going to be the middle of my panel row count, and we're going to do 5 rows. So if this is the middle, that's 3, 4, 5, 2, and 1. Okay, so we're going to go back to the first one. So that's that first white needle before those black ones. We're going to cast on drawstring cast on going in front of that first black white, behind that second black, in front of the third, behind the fourth, in front of the fifth, and underneath that red divider. Now I do have a video that teaches you how to do row counts, or pardon me, that teaches you how to do flat panels. So please look for that, and it will help you out if you need this to be taught in a slower way, in more detail. So I'm going to set my row counter to 0. I'm going to put a little bit of tension on it as it goes over that red divider, and that needle picks it up, and we're going to go back. Here's my first needle, and it's easy to see because it's the one that's right after that black one, and it's the same on both sides. So that picks it up, and as soon as it goes under the red divider that's beside it, then you can turn and go the other way. Put a little bit of tension at the beginning of your row, making sure that loop goes down over your red teeth, and you're going to go the other way. Sometimes you have to help those last loops down. All right, so this is the 5th one, and it's the one that's after the black. Under the divider, then you can go back. And every time it passes those black needles, till we get some length on there, you have to help them down over these last ones when we get to it, and the first one when we're coming back this other way. See, oh, now it's starting to go down. And I'm gonna just keep going back and forth, just like this. Once it goes under the divider that's on either side of the last needle that you knit, so the last needle that I knit is this one. Once it goes under the divider that's beside it, then I can go back the other way. Help those down. And we're going to keep going back and forth. You can put your stoppers on if you want, but when I'm only doing a small panel like this, I don't worry about it. If you're going to want to use your Addi stoppers, what you're going to do, this is our last needle, you're going to put one on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This 5th red bump on this side. And let me go back and I'll show you on the other side. This is the first needle we're knitting, 1, 2, 3. You're going to put your Addi stopper on that one. Then your machine will automatically stop you when you go far enough before you have to turn and go your other direction. Okay? But I can easily see it here, and so I'm not going to bother using it. Help that down. Don't force your handle. Friends, you're going to keep going back and forth till you have 50 rows knit. 50. Doesn't take long, and it's fun to do. I don't know why that first one on this side is giving me a hard time all the time, but that's okay. I'm going to help it down. It's not a problem. There we go. Back and forth for 50 rows. Just got to give it time to slide down over that white needle. Sometimes you got to give it a little helping hand. Again, go check out my tutorial on how to do a flat panel, and I'll show you in slower and more detailed way and how to do it with the stoppers as well. I'm going to keep going. I'm already on 34, so look how fast this goes. I'm going to go till I have 50 rows. All right, I just finished 50 rows. I'm going to cut off a tail. Doesn't have to be that long. Open my latch, and I'm going to work this backwards underneath that divider. Here's my last one. Make sure that when you go backwards that loop goes down over those red teeth without splitting. This one's going to split, so I'm going to help it. There we go. Go slowly. There we go. I'm going to drop all those needles down. So all of these stitches are ready to come off now because the loops or the needles have dropped down. I'm going to put this onto my needle, and I'm going to pick them up from the left to the right. Now, if going from the left to the right freaks you out, because we're always used to doing from the right to the left, do 51 rows. Oop, got a snag there, but that's okay. Do 51 rows, and then you can take it off from the other side like you're normally used to. I'm going to pull that through. I'll draw that snag through just with my needle if I can get it. There we go. I could have used my crochet hook, but needle works. I don't know how that happened. I didn't even see it happening when I was knitting. But I'm going to pull that snag through to the inside here, remove my machine, and I'll meet you right back. Now that we have it off the machine, what we're going to do is we're going to pull the end, and then we're going to put the tail on our needle. I'm just going to go across just to tie it off in a knot. Oops, there we go. And one more time. Pull that knot down with your thumb. Then you're just gonna open it up a little bit and feed your tail through those stitches. Just pick up a strand. It's the back side of those stitches. Go back up, because why do I have that little loop there? So I'm just gonna catch it. I don't know where that's from. Must not have tightened that knot tight. I'm gonna go back down and take it with me. See, just like that. Go down a few more. And then come up. Cut off my tail. Go down to the other side. Give that a pull and do the same thing. Giving that a pull, you see here's where it just naturally comes together. Don't need to match or stitch it together at all. Take another strand of yarn. Doesn't have to be very long. This is about a foot, but that's too long, and you'll see what I mean. It doesn't matter, better longer than not, because it's just gonna cut it off anyways. But pop your snowman over top, tie it just like that. I'm gonna bring this one over, make sure those open edges are together. If you got a wonky stitch, what happened there? Just hide it on the inside. And we are going to position that where you want it. You're going to take your thread. I just grab these two, hold them together, and then I poof them up. I just push it up like that. See where my thumb is? I'm pushing that up just to give it a little bit of a bubble there. I'm going to go in the side here. I'm going to come up through both layers, pull through. Then I'm going to go up to the top here. So it's about 2 rows up, come back out where I went in. Pull that through. And you can go ahead and put another one right there if you want. I didn't on the other 2 snowmen that I made, but this one seems a little bit longer. I gotta fix this little loop here too, which I'll do right after, but actually I like it like this. Just like that. And I'm going to tuck that in. I'm gonna push this up. I'm gonna go back in. I didn't do these for the other 2, see I've done 2 already, so you don't have to do it. I'm gonna go back in. This one I feel for some reason stretched out a little bit longer when I was making it. And I'm going to scrunch that up just a little bit. Come back in, come back out. There, that's beautiful. Then what you're gonna do is you're gonna tie these 2, remembering always you never tie the first one really tight or you will pull on the work that you just did. Tie the second one tight. Pop this onto your needle. Into the same stitch where it was coming out, pull it through, lift up on your white yarn to get that to hide. Just like that. Cut this one off and lift up to hide that too, just like so. Oh my God, goodness, these things are so cute. There you go. Oh my goodness, they're so cute. Little pom pills. What kid's not going to want to hold these in their little hands? Again, you can put a strand at the top there to make it a Christmas ornament. Put a keychain on the top there. This would make a beautiful keychain. Or put them all on a bunch of wreaths. You can line these up around a glass jar that's a little bit taller than this, of course. A glass container that you can find, and then put a candle in there. Like if you were to just put them around like this around the jar. That would be cute. I'm just thinking of these ideas as I'm as I'm recording. All kinds of things that you can use these for. If you have a different idea, pop it in the comments below and share it with us. But there you go. This is where we're at so far. I love it. I think it looks perfect. Now we're going to embellish with a little snowflake, and I'm choosing to just do the red, but you can do silver, gold, black, whatever you like. It'll be beautiful, but I'm gonna stick with my red and green theme because that's what I've made these snowmen. Snowmans. So I'm going to do your basic crisscross. So we're gonna go across and then straight across here. So that's one angled, and this one's coming straight up across here, and I'm going to come out on the side there a little bit longer. So this one's here, so we want to go across. You know how you used to draw these with your pencil when you were a kid? You'd always draw stars like this if you were like me. And pull, oops. And across. When I go across, I'm going to come out where I went in. Before I tie off, I'm going to look at it. Coming out where you went in, pull it through. Do I need this one leg to be a little higher? Or do I just need to play with this a little bit? Tighten that one maybe. I think it's perfect. We're going to cut them off. We're going to tie it. You guys, I'm so hungry. It's middle of the afternoon and I've been working on down here and in my craft room, getting this tutorial done. And I haven't taken time for lunch yet, so I'm going to go do that right away. I don't know if I like how I did this little star. Now I'm just, yeah, it's perfect. Don't overguess it. Don't overthink it. Thread your needle into that same stitch, pull through, and cut off. This is a little short. There we go. Oh, he's so adorable. All right, friends, so here are my 3 little munchkins. I didn't stuff this middle one as much as I stuffed the other ones, but there they are. Aren't they just so cute? They just fit in your hand so nicely. What little kid is not going to love these? So very cute. Let me just take a measurement for you. An approximate 2.5 inches. And then 2 across. So they are such a cute size. You're going to want to make a bunch of them. So there we go, friends. We've got our little handheld miniature snowman. It's been wonderful spending time with you, and I wish I had snow on the ground so that I could take a picture outside in a blizzard or something. That would be so cute. But I don't have snow yet. Planning ahead. So thanks again for watching, friends. Please be sure to post in my Facebook group when you are done. And if you are posting in other groups, always share the link. I would just like to make a mention and ask that you please never post row counts. So many times people in all the different groups say, how many rows is that, or how many rows is this? Please, please, I'm asking you, not on just for myself, but I know on behalf of all YouTube makers, creative makers, that you do not share row counts. It's so discouraging when we see that, because we spend so much time on videos for you that we give to you for free. So just out of respect, would you please not post row counts and just add a link or tell them what channel you found your pattern on, and that would just be so much appreciated by so many of us. So I just can't stress that enough because it's getting really bad in some of the groups lately. And so I just want to make mention of it and ask that you please respect that and don't post row counts when people ask. And that would be awesome. So thanks again for joining me. Thanks for being a part of my channel community. I always want you to know that I love and appreciate you all. So take care, have a blessed day, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.